as a kid. I mean,
yeah. It's so hard not to shake hands.
God,
That's the worst part. Yeah, that's the worst part.
It was an awkward time there because I come from that background too. I mean, I'm a yes sir, no sir, shake hands kind of guy. I mean,
look
a
somebody in the eye
firm
and
handshake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have to go up and give somebody the elbow bump, I mean that's it's a little untraditional, but you got to get with the times. But it was awkward.
Yeah.
The fist pumps the fist bumps and different things,
That's
But
right.
yeah, I don't know.
The heel touch,
It was interesting. Yeah.
No, I mean we sent both our kids back to brick and mortar. It was a tough call. I know, like in HISD, it's still distant learning, but CCISD here along the waterfront capital of Texas, you had the option, and we chose to send them back to school.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing because, like I said, they have to interact when they're young, so they'll know how to do it when they're older.
And they also want to. Let's be real. When you're a kid, you look forward to school. You hate school, but you want to hang out with your friends. So they don't want to be at home.
True.
No,
you're right.
They want to go back. Let's be real.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's just it's a process. We all have to learn. That's how we learn. We have to learn how to deal with people.
Yep.
What we like, what we don't like, how we can talk to people.
What someone else's dad did or what their mom. That's how you learn about life. The little.
Maybe I'm wrong. I know this is it's a terrible disease, but to me, it's a form of a cold, a flu, or whatever. Some people get sick. Some people don't get sick. Just like everybody, every winter they're like sneezing and stuff. That's normal. It happens every year when the cold fronts start coming in here. We do. And then some people that already have other problems, they can't hold up to it and they die. And it's really unfortunate. But
True.
To close an economy for that, I didn't think that was the greatest decision ever. But I'm not the one in the government.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, obviously it changed my whole, business scenario. I mean, I had to pivot after 18 years of, one business, but I kind of get it, and I'm not complaining. But
right. I mean,
I mean it's and I had so many clients that it hurt. Also, I mean it hurt a lot of people. So it's
bars, restaurants, clubs, entertainment, movie theaters. Fun, sports, fun stuff.
Any kind of event,
big time.
Any kind of event,
fun events and activities and social gatherings. That was cut 100%. And if you're in that business, I mean,
it's tough. Yeah,
and like you said, a lot of your clients, they're definitely in that business, and luckily, I mean, this area is resilient. A lot of those companies are still around, and we're all going to come back. But I mean, man, this was unprecedented.
Yeah, crazy time, crazy year. That's and when things get and maybe we're getting back to normal now. I mean, it's important we all support the businesses that have been suffering.
Yeah,
and that's the key.
Yeah.
And of course, luckily, the one thing we've kind of talked about on this show is, the one thing it has done is it's forced people to get outside, get out on the water. I mean, there's still things you can do,
Boating is strong.
Boating,
people
sailing,
paddleboarding, jet skiing, and they're
kayaking.
They're taking their boats out. I mean, boats are hot right now. I mean, more common boats, cheaper boats. But I mean, but they're spending money on boats. But
it's the only freedom that's been free.
True.
During all this, even during the hardest times, you could go out on a boat and not have to wear a mask, not worry about
really, that's very
freedom.
true.
It was a freedom that we miss. We're Americans. We're used to this. We're brought up this way from the time we were a baby to our age now. That we have certain freedoms. We have, of course, laws like everybody else, and we have to adhere to them. But the freedom is what we're known for. We fight for it, we live for it, we love it, everything. We got to have it. And everybody wants to come to America because we are this way.
True.
You work hard, you prosper here, you can thrive in America, and then you play hard on the weekends,
Yep.
That's right.
So you work hard, and then you have fun. You enjoy the water, the boats, the good times, the drinks, the people. I mean, that's it,
The one thing the other countries...
America.
America, yeah. That's right. The one
God
thing
bless.
they have to realize in other parts of the world is this isn't free, okay? You have to work just like you have to work anywhere else, okay?
Yeah.
But what you have here is the freedom.
Yeah.
Once you go to work and you get off work, there ain't anybody telling you what you do. You do what you want to do. If you don't want to work the next day, you don't have to work the next day.
And you can work for yourself. You can work for someone else. You can do whatever you want in this country.
That's right.
You can go do something safe with corporate America, or take a risk and try something yourself and be your own corporate America. And I mean, that's the beauty of being here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's America.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Three entrepreneurs right here, guys.
Right?
That's
true. Yeah.
We all had trouble working for somebody else. Apparently, we had to do it ourselves.
Especially you, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Wow.
That's right, man. Thanks for your service.
Couldn't do that forever,
Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. Yeah, so I'm proud to be from Texas, and man, what a military state. Everybody here is just so pro. I mean, police and military, and just the good cops, the good soldiers out there. I mean, yeah, I felt a lot of love, coming from Texas and being part of the Army. I mean, people are really thankful here, and they appreciate that. So it feels really good, Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And we got a lot of military in Texas,
That's true. Oh, absolutely.
And we got Fort Hood, and I mean, there's not a lot of bases or soldiers in Houston, surprisingly. A little bit there in Galveston, but there are definitely some. Fort Bliss is, I think, the biggest base. The biggest Army base there is Fort Bliss. I think
that sounds right. Yeah.
So that's out there in El Paso.
Obviously, San Antonio has a number of Air Force bases.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not all Army. Yeah. There's plenty of military here in Texas. So. Yeah, big pro-military state.
And, of course, Bruce, you grew up in an Air Force family, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my father was he was a pilot in the Air Force. When he was in the Air Force 30 years, and he worked for NASA for 20.
Oh,
nice.
Man, that's
awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
he was basically worked for the government. Then they moved to Phoenix, and I stayed here. I mean,
yeah.
My father lived a long life, 102 years old.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
102.
102.
Wow.
He was always in very good shape. He, like I said, the military and a pilot, you have to be. He was short.
Sure. Yeah.
He was like 5'6". I'm 6'2". I mean, where did that come from?
That's funny. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, he was the incentive for me because we'd always get. I remember as a kid when we'd go somewhere, and me and my brothers. I have 3 brothers and a sister, and we'd go somewhere, and he'd always be. Hit the passing gear, go faster, faster, and we'd like go faster, and we loved the speed, and it came from him.
Yeah.
I didn't just hear it, and of course, when I got a car, I was smoking it down the road back and forth, and he'd be like, "Can you just not leave rubber in front of the house?"
Yeah. I was just testing it out, Dad.
Yeah, right. He said, "You left part of your tire over here by the by the driveway."
Yeah.
And of course, if I got a ticket, he'd laugh at me and better slow down. I said, "You're telling me to slow down? You're the one that taught me all this."
Yeah.
He was a speed demon. In fact, when he was 90, he came here and I took him for a ride in a skater.
Oh, nice.
A smaller one I had a 32 that run about 120. And I took him out. I had my brother and my sister and him. And I put him in the front seat. "You want to drive? You want to do it?" No, you show me how. It's like, "I'm sure you know how." I mean, so I took him out and I did 100. And he says, "Can I do anything else?"
Can I do anything else? Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I can go a little faster." I said, "Well, come on, let's see it." I'm like, "Okay." And I did like 119, 118. That's all I do because it was a hot day.
Yeah.
I said, "I'm a little disappointed. I thought you could go faster than this."
At 90, guys, 90 years old. That's awesome.
I'll tell you one more story about it.
Please.
I was taking
this runs in the blood. Yeah.
I was selling boats in Vegas, Boulder City, which is right next to Lake Mead.
Okay, yeah. I've been trying to get out there, actually, and ride on Lake Mead.
That's a good place.
Oh, yeah,
That's a good place. Yeah. Anyway, I sold 3 skaters over there. And one of the guys, I sold him a used one. He says, "I want to order a new one." I said, "Okay." And this is when we were really busy. I was going to the factory every 2 or 3 weeks to check on boats, make sure they're.
I'm sure they were happy to see you every time, too.
They got tired of me being there, of course.
Yeah, Miami gets tired of me, too.
How come my boat's not being worked on? Hey, well, don't work on that guy's boat. Work on my boat.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a customer over there. He was pretty wealthy, and he said, "I want to order a new boat." And I said, "Well, yeah, we can do that. We're pretty busy." He says, "Okay, well, let's go get a beer at the bar." I said, "Okay." So he takes me to one of the casinos over there, and we sit down at the bar, and real comfortable, and we're drinking. And he goes, "How can I be number one?" I said, "What do you mean number one? What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, what's your list? How many people you have on your list right now?" I said, "I have 12. "You got 12 boats being built?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do."
Wow.
And he's like, "I want to be the first." "Well, wait a minute. I have all these people in front of you." And he goes, takes out his checkbook, starts writing me a check. "How much is this boat that I want's going to cost?" I'm like, "Well, I haven't got a quote for you yet." And he said, "Is it 500 or 600 or 700? Well, it's not more than 700. He starts writing me a check for $700,000. I'm like, "Wait a minute, George. I can't just put you in front." "Well, you can work me in somewhere, right?" I said, "Yeah. But you don't need to write me a check for $700,000. Just give me a couple of hundred, and I'll put you in maybe second or third or fourth whenever I can. Now I want to be at least second.
Oh, wow.
Here's the check. So he gave me a check for the whole amount.
Wow.
And I'm like, and he's a friend too, you know. And I was like, okay. So I go back to the factory the next week, and I'm looking at the list going, how can I do that?
Yeah. Okay, here
Somebody's
we go.
going to get angry at me.
Yeah.
And luckily somebody backed out.
Boom.
On a 40. And I'm like, hey, George, we got lucky. I said, I didn't get lucky. I already told you what I wanted. I said, okay, I got lucky.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no worries. Anyway, he the first boat he bought from me, he gave me a brand new Corvette ZR1 as part of the money. He says, here, why don't you take this on trade? And I'm like, what am I going to do with that? I don't live here. He says, well, aren't your parents in Phoenix? That's only 2.5 hours away, 3 hours away. You can use it for a car. You come here, you can drive over there and see them, and then come back. Okay, I guess I can. I said, how much do you want? How much do I got to give you credit? And it's like $60,000, 50 or $60,000. I'm like, all right. So I started using that for a car every time we went to Vegas. I mean, it got to be pretty regular because once they got boats over there, they wanted me to go boating with them. So I go over there and we go boating, drink a few beers, whatever, and then I'd get in the Corvette and drive over to my parents. And my dad would come out and look at it and go, Did pretty fast? I went, there you go. Go for it.
Yeah.
My mother's like, don't you give him the keys to that. He's 92 years old. And I said, I did it to him when I was driving his cars. Why not, let him drive mine. So I gave it to him and let him drive it for about 6 months. My mother finally called me and goes, come get this damn car. Yeah. He's already got 2 tickets.
Yeah.
The first time I got pulled over, I was in the car with him, and there's a lady cop that pulled him over, and she walked up and she goes, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, my goodness. That's good.
She didn't give him a ticket, but she was giving him hell, and my mother, give him hell, give him hell. I'm like, Mom, leave him alone. He's 92 years old. Don't you think he deserves to do what he wants,
She's probably just, where's your glasses, sir? If you're going to go 120 and a 60, at least put your glasses on. Come on,
Well, he was getting on the freeway and doing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She finally talked me into coming to get it. I gave it to my brother, and he sold it, But that was a pretty good story because she called me one day, come get this damn car.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing the cop walking up and seeing.
Yeah, my dad's 90.
92.
92-year-old.
Wow,
That's awesome. Although a 92-year-old Air Force pilot and vet of World War II in Korea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, World War II.
Not your average 92-year-old.
I heard some stories about World War II. They didn't talk about it till they almost were gone.
Right.
But the stories they said.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All the and my dad was a pilot on B-17.
Okay, well, I was going to ask. I actually was curious what airframes he was involved with.
Yeah,
they were bombing Germany every day.
Those are the most heroic guys. Yeah, wow.
They said their last mission that they went in, they had like 400 and something planes, B-17s, went into Berlin and just bombed the hell out of it.
Right.
Wow, yeah.
Annihilated. Well, they had to. They were trying to get the end of the war.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
a war that Germany started.
Yeah. Well, they're losing GIs every day.
Yeah.
So they wanted to stop the war, to stop the killing. They had to, just like they did to Japan when they dropped the bomb on Nagasaki.
Yeah.
And the only reason we did that is because Japan would not stop. I mean, they wouldn't quit.
They were ruthless. They would not
we
stop.
We would firebomb all their major cities, but they still wouldn't quit.
We had to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, well, we had to do something that more than I mean,
they could never.
And even then, it took
counterattack.
Even then, it took more than one before they would give up.
Seriously,
and that saved hundreds of American lives. On the
island.
Wow.
Well, they figured if they had
hundreds of thousands, that's what I meant. Hundreds, gosh,
I think they figured if they attacked,
like 500,000,
Tokyo, they're going to lose almost 1 million.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
they were going to do that.
Yeah,
they were going to burn themselves to the ground. Yeah, we honestly saved some Japanese people.
Oh yeah, we saved lives.
No, not just American lives, Japanese lives. By killing some Japanese. The big picture was because they they were going to burn it to the ground.
I mean, truthfully, the firebombing of some of the major cities in Japan actually killed more people than the two atomic bombs did.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Wow. Well, it was the shock and awe. That's what did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow, man. Respect to your dad.